Got it.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for coming to our Saturday morning mentee meetup. So, today, one of our illustrious mentees with EXP is Tammy La. And Tammy actually has a transaction coordinator business called Vert, Vertu, Vert, I can't,
Virtuela.
Virtuela. I
Virtuela.
always want to say virtual, but it's Virtuela. It is called Virtuela Transaction Management Services. So I've asked her to come and give an overview of her services so that she can assist a lot of us agents when we get busy and don't want to go in the zip forms, don't want to go in the SkySlope. We just want to go and, do presentations and not have to come back and do the tedious paperwork that's involved. So go ahead, Miss Tammy, and take it away.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vanda, for the introduction, for the lovely introduction. Yes, and of course, thank you for inviting me here today. Yeah. Um, and for everyone out there, yes, my name is Tammy La. I am a licensed transaction coordinator. And I'm also an independent transaction coordinator and also owner of Virtuela Transaction Management Services. And today I am going to talk to you about, let me share my screen right here. Yes. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Today I'm going to talk to you why you should hire a transaction coordinator. Like typically what a transaction coordinator typically does, and why you should hire me. and how a transaction coordinator will truly elevate your business. All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Yes. Right. All right. First of all, what is a transaction coordinator? So a transaction coordinator is someone who assists a real estate agent by overseeing all aspects and performing the administrative duties required during each stage of a real estate transactions. And of course, our duties include, from opening escrow, coordinating inspections, repair, negotiations, appraisal, communicating deadlines, communicating updates to clients and agents, lenders, and all party involved. And, monitoring deadlines during contingency period, audit paperwork for accuracy and completeness. And as you know, real estate is a very deadline-oriented industry, right? There are so many details, time-sensitive items that come with a transaction. And delays in real estate can result, in unexpected fees and legal consequences, right? From extending the buyer escrow. So your transaction coordinator manages your documents and watches those deadlines closely. That's the base of our system, right? We track deadlines, make sure everything gets done correctly and on time. We can rush a check to escrow, send reminders to you and your buyers, your sellers, and we can even attend a closing process to make sure everything proceeds as planned. And of course, if you forget everything I say about this slide, just remember the 3 C's right here: compliance, commission, and communications. So those are the 3 pillars of my job. I make sure that you are compliant and get paid correctly. Yes. So any questions so far on the typical duties of a transaction coordinator? No? Okay, let's move forward. All right. So what are the benefits of hiring a TC, you might ask? Okay, so your transaction coordinator will keep every, little detail in check so nothing falls through the crack. It would be insane how on top of everything you have to be, right? The purchase agreement will always be filled out 100% correctly. The earnest money has to be in option money will always be deposited on time. Repair requests will always be sent prior to the deadline. You get the picture. So I would say it's always helpful to get a second set of eyes, and if I would say so, it varies from agents to agents, but I would say most of the time, if you close more than 5 transactions, right, you're slightly more experienced. And unless you love the paperwork, you find it very tedious over time.
Yes, it is.
Right. And which leads me to the second point. Your TC will take care of a time consuming administrative tasks required for each transaction. Time is money, right? And so instead of spending time, placing every signature and initials on the document, data, doing this, time consuming and boring data entry. Yes, you can outsource those tasks to your TC, and it will give you back more time on, those income producing tasks like marketing, prospecting, converting leads, or even, building relationship. Go out there and, joining a networking event, or even spending quality time with your families, enjoying your hobbies, living your life, you name it. Yes. So, in short, a TC will make your lives easier. Yes. And when you hire a real estate transaction coordinator, and you instantly gain a trusted ally on your side, and they are truly your leverage. And I just, so besides the typical admin task, like paperwork, data entry, there are many more ways you can leverage a TC. So let's say you have a listing, right? And I'm sure you get many inquiries from listing agents, potential buyers before the listing goes under contract. And you're having to answer the same, question multiple times and confirm receipt of 20 offers. And then email those to your sellers or report daily showings to your seller. These sneaky little tasks, like gradually you find these activities, eat into your time. That's when your TC comes in, leverage them. Yeah, and we are more than happy to act as a point of contact for your clients throughout the sale, right? And let's say you time block 3 hours every morning for lead generation, right? And you cannot focus 100% on a task at hand because of this, little interruptions, right? You have to stop, I would say every 10 minutes to answer those phone calls or reply to the text message. And if you want to close more deal, you got to limit those disruptions as much as you can. And I think you can agree with me on that, right, Ms. Vanda? Yes. And I would say there's never been an easier time to get a buyer right now in today's market. So I'm sure some of you have several buyers in your pipeline right now. And I think we can all agree that in today's market, it takes more than one try to get your client's offer to get accepted, right? And it's a fact that working with a buyer, is a more, I would say, time consuming process. You don't just submit a 1 to 4 family contract and call it a day, right? Besides the contract, we have HOA addendum, MUD form, seller disclosure, and it's not uncommon for agent nowadays to repeat this process, like to do the step like 5, 6, 7 times for the same clients.
Right.
Right. And let's say your client wants to submit an offer 2 hours before the offer deadline. And if you're on the road, you're on the showing, it's not fun. Right. And of course, you got to act fast. You want to meet that deadline. It's not fun at all. And that's where your TC can come in and, can truly be a huge help.
So how would let's say that happens, do we contact you and say, look, I need this submitted within the next 2 hours?
Yes. You can just give me a call and I'll give you like a very short form to fill out. You can even fill the form out on your mobile phone.
Okay.
Yes. And then I will get it executed, immediately. Yes. Right away. Yes.
You have a team of people that you work with as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And so here's something that just want to share this with you guys. So here's something I often hear from agents. Okay, so I'm a control freak. So I feel like I'm losing control with my own transaction. Yes. So my answer to that is always not if you have a good transaction coordinator. And if anything, is the opposite of that. You know, a good transaction coordinator will give you that peace of mind, you know, because you will be CC on every communication. Yeah, whether it's email or text. I don't talk to your clients unless you give me the permission. Yeah. And of course, you know, if you're a control freak, I think it's all the more reason to have, you know, a TC on your side. And that's what I mean by, you know, a trusted ally. Yeah. And, you know, so for self-proclaimed control freak, right? They have a tendency to freak out over, you know, every little small thing. Like if things go off the rail for just even a little bit. I would say I had an agent who freaks out because closing gets pushed back, you know, 2 days after the original closing day. She freaks out. Or there's it's just out of her control.
Right.
Yes, her buyer's loan, you know, the lender needs more time to get those conditions worked out. So instead of, um, instead of having the closing on May 5th, it's now pushed back to May 7th, and she freaks out. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, um, you know, like having someone on your side, at least, you know, there's someone to calm you down. You know, I have to calm that, you know, agents down, you know, offer her a little comfort. Yeah. So like I said, at least, you know, there's someone there to calm you down. You can talk to, you can vent. And, you know, like I understand how stressful it is to go through a transaction, right? And at least, you know, you don't go through this alone. Yeah. And and you know, one thing I really love about this business is I get to, you know, build a lot of meaningful relationships with the agents that I have worked with over the years. Yeah. You know, they trust me so much that, you know, like even now that they go out on the showing, they would text me. They let me know, okay, I'm at a showing right now, you know, for security purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another way you can truly leverage for TC.
Okay.
Yes.
That is good for safety for females, is to let somebody know
Correct. Yes.
where you are, kind of check in. So okay.
Yes. And so I had a transaction, you know, recently where you know, it's a funny story. So a listing agent is extremely difficult to work with, you know, and I work with the buyer agent. Yeah, he's very unprofessional, difficult to work with. And my client, she is extremely fed up with that agent. And said, okay, now like from this point on, just talk to Tammy, right? So you see how helpful a TC can be, right? Like you have a long day, you have a lot on your plate, and especially, you know, for I know for agents who are also mothers, right? Besides, they have a full-time job, they're doing real estate part-time, and on top of that, they have small kids, right? And after a long day, the last thing you want to do is to talk to a person who gets on your nerves every single time. That's where I come in, like a mediator.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So think about that. A lot of things can happen. Yes. So yeah, like I said, there's so many ways you can leverage your transaction coordinator that will surprise you. And it's truly to your benefits. All right, any questions so far about this part? Okay, let's move on. All right. So for this slide, I wanted to talk about when you should consider enlisting the help of a transaction coordinator. So So going back, so as to the later point, right? You get so bogged down by the admin tasks, like paperwork, email, too much time in front of a computer and not enough time in front of people. And of course, just like I said before, if you really truly want to take your business to the next level, yes, you need to find help. You need to have leverage so you can, spend your precious time. And time is money. You got to spend your precious time, on more income producing tasks instead of, being bogged down by, all the paperwork, all this tedious task. And another scenario I can think of is your life happens. We have a lot of unexpected things come up, right? And sometimes, you got a funeral and you got to be out of town, let's say, and let's say a transaction goes under contracts just 2 days before your vacation takes place, right? And especially in today's market, it's so unpredictable. It can go under contract any moment, and we don't have control over that. And of course, we cannot cancel, right, the trip. Yes. So here's where I come in. Yes, of course. You have to be, still in the know, but at least, you have your transaction coordinator take care of everything on your side. Yeah. And scenario 3, another thing you might want to think about is, and like I said, you want to control expenses while increasing income. And really, hiring a TC makes financial sense if you don't want to hire a training assistant. Let's say you only pay when a transaction closes. Yes, you don't have to commit to a contract. You don't have to, spend a lot of time hiring and training somebody. And I want to touch on this point. So let's say the average agent earns $50,000 a year, so which equals $24 per hour. And each transaction averages 20 hours to close after, contract execution. That means you spend $480 of your time working on a contract to get it to closing. So what if you could take those 20 hours and spend them prospecting for new clients? Do you think you would earn more than $480? And calculate how much your time is worth and what you could do with those additional hours. And if you are only closing one transaction a month right now, those 20 hours could get you to another closing each month, doubling your income. Yeah. Yes. And like I said, you need help and you need help, but at the same time, you don't have time to train someone to do the things the way you want. So hiring an assistant, is a great way to grow your business. But however, like in reality, most of us, we don't have the system or training in place necessary for both parties to succeed. So hiring a transaction coordinator, like me, so where I have the system, the expertise in place, really can help, save you time and money. Yep.
So
And
excuse me, Tammy, you're versed in KV Core,
yes.
Zipforms, and SkySlope.
Yes. And like I said, I'm a licensed transaction coordinator, and my license is currently with EXP. So I know EXP system very, very well. And I just want to touch on this point. Yeah, I've worked with Keller Williams before. So of course, I'm well versed with Command too. Yes. All right. So just a quick recap for you. Me, a transaction coordinator, I ensure everything stays on track throughout the selling and buying process. I have to move quickly and seamlessly through escrow and closing process. I, quickly and efficiently manage any issues that arise with buyers, paperwork, or any parties involved. And of course, I act as a point of contact to address any questions you have throughout a sale. you or your clients. All right, any more questions so far on this particular information? All right. Yes. If you truly want to take your business to the next level, yes, and you're interested in my service, please contact me right here, Virtuela Transaction Management Service. Yes, I will post my information in the chat for you.
Do you have a fee schedule, like how much a virtual assistant costs and things like that?
Yes. Okay. So typically for contract to closing, I charge $250 per file. But of course, I have, many more packages. And if you're really interested, you can drop your, for, agents who are present today, you can drop your email right here in the chat and I will reach out to you and let you know more about my prices and services.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I might be using you today because I got a contract accepted yesterday and I was
Yes.
about to go into Sky Slope and start uploading all that stuff.
Got you.
I got vacation coming up next week. So you hit on two things that I don't like doing the paperwork and I'm going to vacation. So I think it
Yes.
might be a good $250 investment.
Thank you.
I don't, can have peace of mind and I can lay on the beach and not think, oh, let me check my email. Let me make sure, see what's going on. And
Definitely. That's what I'm here for.
now, does your services do any type of door opening? Because sometimes, we can't be at two places at once and we need a licensed person to open a door across town. Do you
Yes.
guys do any of that?
To be honest, I can accommodating with showing request. Yes,
Okay.
but of course it would be an extra fee for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your background, Tammy. Like, how did you get started doing this?
Well, so I started my career in real estate as an executive assistant. Yes, to two real estate coaches and a transaction manager. Yeah, it is a very fast-paced work environment. Like I said, I provide support to 3 brokers, right? They're coaches, transaction manager, the slash brokers, and also 200 coaching clients.
Wow.
Yeah, and during that time, so I started my career at Keller Williams, and during that time at Keller Williams, I was, trained and exposed to I would say many aspects of real estate. I was also trained in the capacity of a transaction coordinator. Yeah, like an assistant for 2 transaction manager. And then I also learned about property manager. I was an assistant property manager for a short period of time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, later on, I move on to another team and I do full-time transaction coordination for them. It's a high producing team. Yeah, very, very busy, very fast paced. And sometime, we would have like 10 transaction goes under contract during just that week, and then we have 5 to 6 listing going live in that same week. So I understand. Yeah, how yes, I understand what it's like to work in a chaotic and fast-paced environment. Mm-hmm. Yep, and I'm very responsive. Yes, that I guarantee you, if you work with me. Communication, like I said, communication compliance commission. Yes, my promise to you.
Anybody have any questions? No, they haven't experienced all the paperwork yet. So maybe hard to come up with the question.
Yes.
But I will share your information with some other people in our network, and it might be very busy. You might, you know,
I would be
something.
honored. Yes.
Let's see if any other questions I had down. Oh, virtual assistants. You don't do any virtual assisting right now.
Yes, right now. Yes,
Okay.
right now. Mhm,
You do door openers. Okay.
mhm.
All right. I don't have any other questions. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on and giving us an overview.
Thank you so much for having me. It was totally my pleasure.
I'm going to stop the